All right, guys, what's up? I am here with the robe, with the coffee, different day here, getting ready to finish up this tutorial on Nmap, this OSCP tool Spotlight. But of course, if you're not in the OSCP, just a reminder, this will still be of great use to you. Nmap is a super useful tool and a tool that I'm certainly using every day in the field of offensive security. So last we left off, we covered some low-hanging fruit, how to further enumerate that. We're going to start this one off with how to do what is called OS fingerprinting, and that allows us to leverage Nmap to try and guess what operating system is running on the underlying server. Now, the way Nmap does this is it has its own way of like sending packets in a certain way, sending requests in a certain way, and depending on how the server responds to that, it kind of tries to discern what the operating system is. So this is not a 100% foolproof way to know. So just because Nmap guessed that it's like Windows XP, right, doesn't necessarily mean it is. It just means that based off of Nmap's best guess, that's what it appeared to be. So we'll try and run this on the same box here, Vault, which we were using as our test the last time for demonstration purposes. So we're just going to go ahead and run it with the -O flag, and that is the one used for OS fingerprinting. So we'll give that one a second to run. And while we do that, let's just break into the next topic here, which is identifying the Nmap scripts. So one of the most powerful things about Nmap is the Nmap scripting engine. And we already used that in some previous videos. That was where we were using Nmap to using Nmap scripts like our default scripts, the -SC. That allowed us to run some of the scripts that are kind of not as aggressive and just marked as default, basically, right? But there's all these other scripts we can use. When we were doing what was it? We also used some scripts when we were doing the web server enumeration, right? And we used that HTTP enum script. Now there's also some scripts you can run where you pass it arguments as well. But you might be wondering, like, how do you know like what scripts are available? How do you know what's out there, right? So the best way that I would say to do that is you can use the locate command, which is a Linux command. You use it with the -R for like a raw string, and then you pass it the escape character for period NSE, because all of the default scripts end with this .NSE extension. So, and then end of line, right? This is just some basic regex here. Maybe I'll cover regex in another video. And then you want to pipe the output of that into xargs. This is going to be just allow it to be more readable. If you grep for categories, right? And so after that, I normally like to grep for default. And this is just something, you don't have to memorize this or anything. You can just put this in your notes and just copy paste it. That's what I like to do generally for this. But because for demonstration purposes, I'll show you the full thing. I'm grepping for a series of things. It should give us the output in a way that is like really nice and clean here. So in this case, I was grepping for all the SMB scripts that are available. So this is really handy, right? So say you had SMB open, you could look for all the SMB stuff. Say you had HTTP, there should be a lot more, right? So now you have all this stuff, right? So that's what's like really handy about that. So now we'll just go right back to this because this completed, right? So if we take a look at this, in this case, right, sometimes you'll get it where it's like, oh yeah, it's for sure this operating system, we're pretty sure. And other times, Nmap will not be able to definitively tell. But here's a little tip for you guys. You can tell from the open ports, you can tell this is a Linux server. And the reason that I know this is a Linux server is because SSH, whenever you see SSH, that's almost always Linux. You never really see that on running port 22 SSH on a Windows server. So that's just how at a glance I know this is Linux. But of course, I don't know like what distro, what kernel, or anything like that, right? So in this case, it wasn't able to tell. Sometimes though, oh look, it even, see it pulls this. It pulls this x86 64 PC Linux GNU. So yeah, you can be very sure that it's Linux. Now, other times it will come back to you with a series of OSs, and it'll say like there's a 90% chance that it's Windows XP, and like a 5% chance that it's Windows Vista, and like a 5% chance that it's like Linux, whatever, you know. So that can happen sometimes too. But in this case, we don't really need to fingerprint to know that it is Linux, though we can't really glean any more granular information from this, it appears. So just something to keep in mind there. So let's go back to the Nmap scripting stuff, right? So that's how you can see for a certain like service or whatever, right? HTTP, we did SMB. You can probably do RDP. Yep, and there's that one. See, they're also marked with these different flags. It's default, so this is part of the default script. So we run the SC flag there. It will run this one if it finds RDP port open. And it's also a discovery script, and it's marked as safe, right? Some of these will be more or less safe. Some of them will be a bit unsafe, right? The ones that, especially the ones that are more like intrusive, more aggressive, right? So. And yeah, so the next thing you might be wondering is we're running this default scripts command all the time, the -sc, and you might be wondering, well, what does that entail? Is there any way I can know? And we saw there's already these tags that say, okay, this is a default script, this is whatever, you know? So you might be wondering what all is being run with the default scripts command, because it's good to like know what you're doing when you're running stuff, what it's actually doing. So you know, that's what separates the script kiddie, as they say, from like a more professional security analyst or whatever. So the way you would do that is you can use some more Linux commands for that. So you can use grep recursively with the -r for categories, and the user share nmap scripts directory, which is where all of your Nmap scripts are stored. No surprise there. And we're looking for anything that ends with that .nse, because that denotes Nmap scripting file, which is an Nmap script, which is written in Lua, unless anything changed. I think they're all written in that language. But then we'll grep for default, because we want to look at, I'll show you what it looks like if we don't grep default. It's going to give you all the Nmap scripts, right? Well, if I ran this correct, if I type this correctly, this would give you everything, right? So you see some of these are like brute and intrusive and stuff like that. This is literally all the scripts here. I mean, we can do a count on this to see how many lines there are. There's like 608 scripts that are pre-installed in here. And of course you can write your own if you know Lua and stuff, but maybe a video for another time there. But yeah, you see they all have like different sort of tags, I guess you would say, that let you know about them at a glance. So it's pretty cool. You can see all the intrusive, all the whatever. In this case, we just are concerned with the ones that are the default scripts, right? So if we grep for default, let's see how many entries that whittles it down to. So now it's down to 122. So when we run the -sc flag, we're running 120, well, not necessarily 122. It's only going to run it if it sees that the port's open. So out of these 122, they all correspond to different services. If your Nmap scan finds that that service is running, like it finds SNMP, then it's going to run all the default SNMP scripts, because that's what that flag denotes. So, but yeah, if we just want to take a look at a glance for this stuff, then you can see here, these are like all the different scripts that it's going to run as part of that, all like 122, if all the ports were open again, right? So if it sees DNS, it's going to run all these DNS ones. If it sees FTP, it's going to run these FTP ones. And yeah, this is how you can know what all is default. So really handy way to do things. I mean, I guess one thing we could do to make this even cleaner, if we wanted to, we could. This is where you can further, carve things up with Linux commands. So we can cut field. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 6. Cut field 6, delimited by / I believe, and that gives you that. And then cut field 1, delimited by space. So yeah, here's a way that you can like further, shave off that output into a more readable format, something that's maybe a bit nicer. And then that's a command that you could just save if you wanted to, because it'll always be field 6 and field 1, right? So that's just a little bit of Linux magic there. You can really go into depth in that in a future video, because Linux is definitely essential for any hacker out there, any offensive security, anyone in security, in cybersecurity altogether. You got to know your Linux for sure. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. And this was the final one on Nmap. Let me just see really quick, is there anything that's like really good that I missed out on? No, it doesn't appear that there is, looking at my notes just one last time. But yeah, I hope this was helpful, and let me know down in the comments section below if there's anything further that I can help you with. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.